Globally, girls are disproportionately exposed to barriers to education. In South Africa specifically, poverty, teen pregnancies, sexual assault, child marriage, household duties, and a laundry list of adverse factors are keeping girls back from living up to their full potential. As we are about to find out, promoting the right to education of girls goes beyond just access, but also towards ensuring that they are safe at school and can fully benefit from their education journeys. Amy-Leigh Payne joins me now, and she is an attorney and co-lead for the Legal Resources Centre's Legacy Programme. Amy, good evening to you and welcome. It's always worth a reminder of the rights the Constitution provides, such as the right not to be discriminated against based on sex or gender, the right to freedom from all forms of violence and degrading treatment. How are the current state of schools and the experience of the girl child at odds with those rights?
Thank you. Good evening. Thank you for having me. Yes, so we went through we did research and we looked at the different barriers that girls are facing, and what our current schooling system looks like. Some of the barriers that they face would be poverty, teenage pregnancy, gender inequalities, sexual assault, child marriage, school transport, household care duties, as well as sanitation and access to hygiene products. I think that one it resonates with what you mentioned of the school situation that we have currently, where schools they not all schools have the sanitation facilities for these girl learners. Schools don't give sanitary products due to it not being easily available through our government, and that girls need to pay for it. This leads to girl learners being left behind. They sometimes end up missing up to a week of schooling each month due to not having this access.
Amy-Leigh, as I listen to you, as I read the research report, and as I, have just been reminding our viewers just this universe in which the experience of the girl child in education exists, it's so revealing, and it sounds as if, there needs to be a different approach to how girls are supported through their schooling career, as opposed to others within the schooling, fraternity. Do you think it's time we did that?
Yes, definitely. As you mentioned, it's not only girl learners that do face barriers, but it is more prevalent in girl learners. It's definitely time for us to take steps to ensure that girls stay in school, that the number of girl learners that matriculate, that finish, and that continue to tertiary education is equivalent to boy learners. Some of the recommendations that we have made in our publication, specific to teenage pregnancy, as we've seen recently in the news as well, the high rates of teenage pregnancy, is just better communication systems between our governments will ensure that these girls are not left behind and that they continue with their schooling.
Well, let's home in on the provisions of the Schools Act of 1996. Now, there are strict requirements for the steps that education authorities should trigger when they notice that children drop out or simply stop going to school. In your research and awareness, how effectively is this actually happening?
Unfortunately, due to capacity constraints, we don't see it happening quite often. Some schools, it does happen where they're able to. They will do follow-ups and try and get learners to school, but it doesn't happen with each case.
So this is quite a serious problem, because the experience of girl learners, during their schooling career is just one step in a journey, against the backdrop of a country like South Africa, where the risks to this particular gender cohort are magnified, given gender-based violence and all of the other, ills in society that are specifically visited on girls. It sounds like we need a more coordinated approach in preserving, their right to go through school without fear and to be protected during that journey. What else is missing that both civil society together with government can do?
So there's different factors that we believe that government and civil society can do. It goes to, educators, different steps that can be taken. For example, one of the things that we looked at is gender inequalities in curriculum content and teacher behavior. It's something as simple as, in a school setting, they are more likely to say a boy needs to do science and maths and not girls. things like this, where we can put a stop to this. We can say all learners can access, maths and science and can become an engineer even if you are a girl. Promoting gender equality is a step, one of the steps that we can take. With regards to teenage pregnancy, there is a policy, but just seeing proper implementation of this policy, teaching girl learners what statutory rape is. One of the big things that the LRC pushes for is the comprehensive sexuality education being rolled out throughout South Africa. It's currently only being piloted in certain schools in certain provinces. Something like this, if it is implemented in all schools, it will ensure that girl learners know what steps to take should they fall pregnant, should they be sexually assaulted, and this would then lead to girls being more aware, taking the right steps, and hopefully then continuing with their education.
Amy-Leigh Payne, thank you very much for talking to us this evening. Quite a grim picture that's being painted about the experience of girl-child learners. She's the attorney and co-lead at the Legal Resources Centre's Legacy Programme.